Good morning everyone. Dennis Mackenzie is my name. My partner and I own Resort Management and Licensing Training. We also own Property Training Queensland. We've been established now for close on 12, 13 years. In that time we've probably trained over 9,000 odd people in our courses, not only resident letting agents licensing but also real estate licensing as well. We've been in the management rights business. Michelle, my trainer over here as well too, she's had her own management rights. It's interesting the different perspectives when we talk to people in our classes about what they're buying and what they're looking at trying to achieve, and obviously profit's the number one thing. Most of our people in class are looking to make good profit and make some good capital growth. Myself came up through the holiday business and loved the holiday business, and our background was hotels and motels, so it was a natural progression to go into management rights. Interesting comment about the 24/7. One of our colleagues in the management rights business in our first building told us about a new invention, and it was called an answering machine. And it was so amazing because we were locked into the business 24/7 until we found out about this answering machine. I know you're all laughing about this stupid little gadget that hardly anyone uses, but it took the pressure of us physically being on site all night. So, you know, emergency calls we'd handle. We'd get calls from Melbourne from some of our holiday guests ringing us at 11 o'clock at night time and asking us about the weather tomorrow at the start of their holiday. And we'd open the curtains and we'd see it's all black, and we'd say we really don't know what the weather's going to be like tomorrow because it's all black outside. So you do get some of these comments from your holiday guests, but what I used to like about it was the fact that our guests were only there for a short time and they'd go. Different to permanent. Our business, we offer training for the resort management industry. We're a registered training organisation in Australia. You have to be approved by the government to provide training courses. On the completion of our courses, you actually receive a statement of attainment to say that you've successfully completed the course. With that statement of attainment, you then apply to the Office of Fair Trading in Queensland for your licence. The process is not difficult. 3-year licence or a 1-year licence. Most managers that do our courses opt for a 3-year licence. Part of our services we provide for some of our managers in settling in is body corporate assistance, trust accounting, installation and support, housekeeping, body corporate caretaking, etc., etc. Our project, our consultancy relates to some of these jobs that we've done over the last 20 odd years, both permanents and holiday buildings. Some good looking heads there as well too. This is our course structure here. The government have established that this course will satisfy the needs for you to obtain a resident letting agent's licence. Look, I've got to tell you, in 12 years of training we haven't actually failed anyone. And the boys from New Zealand would be happy to know that too, weren't you, when you came in all the way from NZ. But these are important subjects for you to know, whether it's a holiday building or a permanent building. You need to be able to competently complete these subjects before we mark you, and you then get your statement of attainment. You can do the course in class, which is very, very popular as of late. The last couple of years we've noticed the numbers in our classes increasing, but we do find a lot of people from overseas that can't attend our classes can jump online and do it at their own pace whenever they like. As Rusty mentioned, we do offer a sales course. For most resident managers, and Mike touched on this in the business, you have to protect your rental pool. And your business is about increasing your rental pool and protecting your income as well. Mike mentioned about salary increases for your body corporate. But in protecting your rental pool, one of the important things for a resident manager is that they're dealing with a real estate agent who's sold a property to one of your investors. The loyalty's there. They go back to that real estate agent to sell them out of that unit. And the real estate agent, with all respect, I am a real estate agent, with all respect, the real estate agent would probably likely to sell it to an owner-occupier or someone who would use the real estate services. That's no good for you as a resident manager. Your income would drop dramatically. So for a lot of people doing their RLA course, we've created what we call an RLA sales upgrade course. Because of some of the components in your RLA course, these are the necessary components that you need to complete to be able to sell units within your complex. And traditionally, most of our people in our classes have bought from RAS, and they want to protect their business, so they are engaged by RAS and work with RAS very closely in selling units within the complex. It's not a difficult course, it's quite easy, but since the change of legislation, Frank mentioned this earlier this morning, we've had 3 changes in legislation since we've been in this industry, and the new Act now, which you should all be aware of, called the POA Act, the Property Occupation Act, focuses a lot on getting things right. Whether they're rental agreements or lease agreements, they've got to be right. And one of the most important things in this course here is your contracts of sale. For a real estate agent, that's their livelihood. Contracts have to be exactly right so that they earn their commission. Yeah? If your agreements with your owners aren't correct, you may be jeopardising your commission too. So part of the sales course is understanding listings. In other words, an owner wants to sell their property and they want to talk to you about selling it. I've got to tell you, in my experience, you're the best people to sell a unit in your own complex. The reality of it is you own a unit there. You probably know what your yearly electricity rates are, would you? You know what your body corporate levies are and your council rates. You're the best person to sell a unit in your own complex. I've often overheard real estate agents in selling, they've turned to the resident manager and asked them what the body corporate levies are or the council rates. Not real professional, isn't it? You as a professional resident manager know all about selling because you know the product that you're selling. You could probably even show a potential buyer the income that's been generated from that apartment under your management. Rusty's going to talk about that a little bit later on, but we run these courses online as well as in class, so feel free to talk to us about that at any time. So we'll probably stay around for some questions, Rusty and Mike, anyway. Yep. And I appreciate your time and thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed. I'll leave you with one parting comment. A good friend of mine born in January the 7th, I've read the stars this morning. Pessimists are usually right and optimists are usually wrong. But all the great changes have been accomplished by optimists. Interesting. Thank you for your time.